Hey everyone, welcome back to English Daily Dialogues. Today, we're diving into a topic that affects all of us at some point: laziness. Whether it's procrastinating on work, skipping workouts, or putting off personal goals, we've all been there. But why does this happen? And more importantly, how can we overcome it and stay motivated?
That's a great question, Sarah. A lot of people think laziness is just about being unmotivated or not trying hard enough, but there's often a deeper reason behind it. And the good news is, once we understand why we feel lazy, we can take the right steps to beat it. So if you struggle with getting things done or staying consistent, stick around because we're going to share some powerful strategies today.
Let's start by talking about what laziness really is. A lot of times when people say, "I'm lazy," what they really mean is, "I'm feeling unmotivated," or "I don't have the energy to start." It's important to recognize the difference.
That's a great point. Sometimes what we call laziness is actually exhaustion, burnout, or even fear. Have you ever noticed that when you're really tired, even small tasks feel impossible?
Yes, and in today's world, a lot of people are mentally exhausted from stress, social media, or even decision fatigue. So if you're constantly feeling lazy, the first thing to ask yourself is, am I actually lazy, or is my body and mind just tired?
That's so important. And another reason for laziness is lack of purpose. When we don't have a strong reason for doing something, it's easy to keep putting it off. For example, if you're studying for an exam just because you have to, you'll probably procrastinate. But if you remind yourself that passing this exam will get you closer to your dream job, it suddenly feels more important.
Exactly. When people don't see the value in what they're doing, they're more likely to feel lazy. So instead of blaming yourself, try asking, why am I avoiding this? Is it because I don't find it meaningful, or am I feeling overwhelmed?
All right, now that we understand what laziness really is, let's talk about how to beat it. Step 1. Just start.
Yes, we often wait for motivation to come before we start working. But the truth is, motivation comes from action. The hardest part of doing anything is starting.
Absolutely. Have you ever told yourself, I'll start in 10 minutes, and then an hour passes, and you still haven't started? That's because the more we delay, the harder it feels to begin. The solution? Commit to just 5 minutes. Tell yourself, I'll do this for 5 minutes, and then I can stop.
That's such a good trick. Most of the time, once you start, you'll naturally want to keep going. It's like going to the gym. You might not feel like working out, but once you start moving, you feel more energized.
Exactly. Now, step 2. Create a routine. When you have a clear schedule, you don't have to rely on motivation all the time.
That's so true. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't need motivation because it's just part of your daily routine. The same goes for productivity. If you decide that every morning at 8 a.m. you'll work on an important task, it becomes a habit.
And don't forget to eliminate distractions. A lot of times we feel lazy because we're constantly distracted by our phones, social media, or background noise.
That's a big one. If you find yourself scrolling on your phone instead of working, try putting your phone in another room or using an app to block distractions.
All right, let's move on to staying motivated. One of the best ways to stay motivated is to have a strong why. When you have a clear reason for doing something, it's easier to push through laziness.
That's powerful. Instead of saying, I need to study, say, I need to study because I want to pass this exam and get into my dream school. Having a bigger purpose makes a huge difference.
Another great way to stay motivated is to track your progress. When you see how far you've come, it makes you want to keep going.
Yes, this can be as simple as marking an X on a calendar every time you complete a task. The more X's you see, the more motivated you'll feel to keep the streak going.
And don't forget, reward yourself. After completing a task, give yourself a small reward like watching an episode of your favorite show or having a nice cup of tea.
That's so important. If we don't give ourselves rewards, we start associating work with stress instead of achievement.
All right, before we wrap up, here are some final bonus tips. First, take care of your body.
Yes, if you're always feeling lazy, ask yourself, am I getting enough sleep? Am I eating healthy food? Am I drinking enough water? Sometimes low energy comes from poor habits.
Absolutely. Another tip, surround yourself with motivated people. If you spend time with people who are always lazy, you'll feel the same. But if you surround yourself with hardworking, positive people, their energy will rub off on you.
That's such a good point. And last tip, stop aiming for perfection. Sometimes people procrastinate because they're afraid of not doing something perfectly. Just focus on doing your best and don't stress about making everything perfect.
All right, let's quickly recap. To beat laziness, start small, create a routine, and remove distractions. Stay motivated by having a strong why, tracking your progress, and rewarding yourself. And don't forget to take care of your body and surround yourself with motivated people.
And remember, laziness isn't a personality trait, it's just a habit. The good news is, habits can be changed. If you take small steps every day, you'll find it easier to stay productive and reach your goals.
That's all for today's episode. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe to English Daily Dialogues for more tips on productivity, self-improvement, and language learning.
See you in the next episode. Stay motivated and keep pushing forward.
Okay, let's learn some new words so you can understand the podcast better.
1. Procrastinate, verb. Meaning, to delay or postpone doing something, especially out of laziness or lack of motivation. Example, Sarah kept procrastinating on her assignment until the last minute. 2. Fatigue, noun. Meaning, extreme tiredness or exhaustion, often from mental or physical strain. Example, after working for 12 hours straight, Alex felt a deep sense of fatigue. 3. Distraction, noun. Meaning, something that prevents someone from focusing on a task. Example, social media is one of the biggest distractions when trying to study. 4. Eliminate, verb. Meaning, to completely remove or get rid of something. Example, to improve productivity, Alex decided to eliminate unnecessary meetings from his schedule. 5. Perfection, noun. Meaning, the state of being flawless or without mistakes. Example, many people procrastinate because they are afraid their work won't reach perfection. 6. Achievement, noun. Meaning, something accomplished through effort, skill, or courage. Example, graduating from university was one of Sarah's greatest achievements. 7. Exhaustion, noun. Meaning, a state of extreme physical or mental tiredness. Example, working long hours without rest led to Alex's complete exhaustion.